Hi guys, and welcome back to Belle's Books. Today I have a book review for you, and before we get into it, please don't forget to like and subscribe for more content, and check out my Instagram at Belle's Books and my website www.bellsbooks.co.uk. So today I'm going to be talking about The Vanishing Half by Brit Bennett. This is a spoiler-free review, as all of my reviews are. Now, if you like family sagas, if you like historical fiction, if you like literary fiction, then you're going to love this book and you absolutely have to read it. If you don't like any of those things, then read this book anyways, because it might change your mind and you might discover a new love for one of those genres. So I'm going to start by giving you a synopsis. Basically, The Vanishing Half is the story of twin identical sisters who grew up in a small, entirely black town. At 16, they run away from home together and soon find themselves living different lives for the first time ever. One has a daughter and ends up back home, while the other sister passes as white and has a white husband and a daughter who have no idea that she's black. The story follows multiple timelines, the twins' timeline and both of their daughters' timelines as well. It moves backwards and forwards in time as it considers race, sexuality, LGBTQ+ issues, and what it means to be home. So my own thoughts. I found this novel absolutely fantastic. First of all, the writing was excellent and the story was incredibly engaging and interesting. It was an absolute pleasure to read. And secondly, I found that the way that Bennett explored important themes such as race and sexuality was incredibly nuanced, thoughtful, and considerate. I think it would be good to talk first about the story's narration, because that was one of the main things that made me enjoy the story so much. As I mentioned before, the story follows multiple perspectives, and throughout the telling of these perspectives, there's a consistent narrative voice which is gentle and non-judgmental. It's factual without being cold. It's descriptive without being overly emotional. This kind of narrative voice, paired with the multiple storylines, created the strong sense that fate was guiding the story. It was implied throughout the novel that the events and the actions were planned and irreversible. The decisions could not be undone. The voice also helped create a kind of mythological or fairy tale undertone to the novel, which is developed even further by the town the twins grew up in, Mulatto. Mulatto was founded by a man who wanted to be less black, and the generations of those who live there are compared to a cup of coffee steadily diluted with cream, each generation lighter than the one before. Mulatto is a kind of liminal space, an area in between black and white. People there look white but are still treated like they're black and still feel like they're black. Although unbelievable, Mulatto is apparently based on a town that the author's mother knew of. Mulatto has a feel to it which is mythological and unbelievable. Its existence seems impossible. The strangeness of its balance between black and white makes it seem like a myth. In fact, when other characters in the novel hear about it, they can't believe it's real either. The twins, the main characters of the novel, straddle this town. Stella became white and Desiree married the darkest man she could find. They simplify the complexities of their racial identity by embracing only one half of it. Stella takes on the persona of a white woman, while Desiree returns home, has love affairs with two black men, and seems to embrace her black culture. Bennett, the author, challenges the idea of race itself within the story, and she summarizes this idea well herself in an interview. On the one hand, if you can perform whiteness, then what does it mean to be white? These characters who pass usually end up reinforcing the hierarchies that they are potentially destabilizing. Now, this novel also considers sexuality and LGBTQ+ issues, and I thought this topic was touched on incredibly well. The topic wasn't just a plot device or a placation, which I feel like happens a lot in literature, but it felt like a genuine fact, a part of the story, a part of the characters' lives. The narrator maintained a factual, non-judgmental tone which put the issues into perspective. Rather than trying to dramatize them or hype them up, the narrator kept them realistic, and I found that this simple approach made the theme all the more poignant and improved the effectiveness of the novel overall. And I do wonder how many of us could benefit from this simple lesson. Writing simply is better than writing dramatically. So in terms of whether this book was a favourite or forgettable, it was a definite favourite for me, and I can't say I'd read it again, but I definitely would recommend it to someone. I already lent the book to my mom so that she could read it, and I just think it's a fabulous book for so many different types of people. And I have now a list of things that you might like to read if you enjoyed this and you wanted to read something else, or this doesn't sound like quite your cup of tea, but you'd like a book kind of like it. So first of all, we have Mothers by Brit Bennett. Then we have an essay by Brit Bennett called I Don't Know What to Do with Good White People. And I included this because although it's not a book, it's a really effective, really powerful short essay, and I think that anyone would benefit from reading it. So I think that if you took the 10 minutes it would take to read, it could really change your life and change your perspective perspective on a lot of things. The next book I have is Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens, and I will link my own review of this book in the description box down below because I read it and I absolutely loved it. Then we have The Mountain Between Us by Charles Martin, another fantastic, compelling, well-written novel. I have read it but I don't have a review of it yet, but if I do make one, I will leave that linked down below when I do. And finally, An American Marriage, which is another fantastic novel recommended by Obama, which is why I originally read it, so you might enjoy that too. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it's helped you pick something good to read and helped you think about The Vanishing Half by Brit Bennett. Whether you want to read the book or you've already read the book, I hope it's helped you think about some of the key ideas going into it or following your read. And thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and please do follow me on Instagram or reach out to me in the comments down below because I'd love to get to know you and talk to you.